tell me about the upcoming event at Hotel Maya.
I'm very excited about our event coming up on October 8th, Saturday, October 8th from 1 to 4 at the Hotel Maya. I have put together a very powerful group of individuals. Don Miguel Ruiz, who's famous for the Four Agreements, who's still on a bestseller in many, many countries. Elizabeth Fayt, who is a very powerful speaker from Canada. Tony Lopez, who is an executive who manages $700 million in corporate America. So we can answer your questions about what's going on in corporate America. And then some musicians are going to come together to have a serious dialogue about what's going on in the world and how can we manage our way through that.
Excellent. Now, these kinds of events you put together on a regular basis, is that correct? Is this something that you do?
Well, our first inaugural was in June of this year in Boulder, Colorado, and we had an absolute incredible event. We actually streamed it live, had 7 countries that actually were watching the event. This event also will be taped, will be put on the internet for later viewing.
Uh-huh. And then, how did you come to put something like this together?
I felt there was, it's very interesting. Don Miguel Ruiz had a heart transplant last year.
Right.
And he and I got together after he had his heart transplant. We were having a dialogue in his living room. And it began to get so interesting. I said, wouldn't it be great if just you and I got on stage and just talked about life? Because he's so much wisdom. Let's share this with the world instead of just us. And that's where it started. And I said, you know what? We need to be able to get together and have a serious dialogue about things that people are concerned about. Well, in the corporate world, what about all these layoffs? What do I do about that? Or what about 2012? Or what's going on with the world, and why is the weather crazy? I mean, these are the questions I think that people have, and we're there to answer them. We're just saying, let's talk about it. So a Dialogues of the Heart, that's where it started. It started with he and I, a sharing conversation. I said, let's do this on stage. And Dialogues was born. We got Long Beach coming up. I've got Toronto, Vancouver, London coming up over the next 6 to 7 months, and we're really excited about it.
That's wonderful. Now, let's talk a little bit about your background, if you don't mind. How did you get started exploring these ideas?
Well, I've been in this business of motivation now for almost 15 years. But I started out building the Best Buy company, helping them build that company. Little bitty company, we all know, right? And, I always felt like I wanted to empower people. And I was always good at what I did because I was managing people. And so one day I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go out there and do what I want to do. And, as a motivational speaker and someone who's a leader in this country, we have to lead by example. So I had to go out there and make it happen. Let me tell you, there were many times when I thought to myself, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And the thing that scared me the most was that somehow the LA Times would catch on, and the headlines the next day after I quit would say, motivator quit. If the motivator can't do it, who can, right? I said, okay, I just got to keep going. So I began to realize that we needed more and more people, and I specifically wanted to reach out also to the Hispanic community to be a leader like Zig Ziglar and Les Brown and Anthony Robbins, wanted to go out there and empower these people. And so I just started doing it. And so today, 15 years later, I'm recognized worldwide. I speak worldwide. I do radio. I lead organizations in New York City, and I get to have fun and live here in Long Beach.
That's one. Now, what are the specific challenges that you see for the Latino community?
It's interesting because our community is a baby community. Even though we're the largest community in the country, we're still babies. We don't considering win-win. What do you mean win-win? I'm going to go out there and get what I need to get. And we were taught to work hard, not smart. And so when it comes to my business of self-help and understanding, I think it's a little slower in moving into this because as mainstream has had this information since the early 1930s, early 1900s when we had Norman Vincent Peale and we had all these wonderful thought leaders that gave us all this wonderful work. We're just now getting into that. We're just now starting to understand that. So getting them to understand that it's not always about working hard. It's about working smart. I think it's been a little bit of a challenge, but they're coming around.
And where do you see the most opportunity for this kind of growth and development within the community?
Well, I've been around, like I said, for almost 15 years, and when I started out, people laughed at me. A motivator, what? My mother even laughed at me. I remember calling her up and saying, "Mother, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a motivational speaker." And she got quiet, and she says, "Oh, please tell me you didn't quit your job." I did 2 weeks ago. So nobody really understood what that was. And I think that today it's just about our leaders stepping up and showing that even though it seems like we're always something bad in the media that we really can do good, and we really can be smart, and we really can understand this power of motivation and inspiration, because I think we're a heart people. We're a very heart people, and I think that we just need to go back to that. I mean, and it's funny that the whole globe is going back to that, and that's something that's natural for us. We're a people persons, a people. So how do we take that and make it a strength rather than a weakness?
Right. Well, now, as you've had success over the last 15 years, has your perspective changed about where the real challenges lie?
For our community?
Well, for community,
everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think that we're in a very interesting time right now. We're in a time where our globe, if you see, dictators are falling. Wall Street fell. I mean, a lot of things are happening that we didn't expect. Weather's crazy, and everyone's starting to go, what's happening? You know what I think is happening is that our world and our globe is transforming again. And metaphorically, it's starting to be really realized that all the things that we thought worked for us no longer work for us anymore. And the proof's in the pudding. Take it out. I mean, there are corporations we thought would never go away. They're gone. They're gone. We never thought the Twin Towers would come down. They're gone. So what's going on in our world? Well, what's happening is that there's a transition that's happening in our globe right now where people are becoming more compassionate for each other. They're becoming almost more one. We are one as a whole. And the challenge for us is, how do we make that transition during this, what seems to be absolute turmoil? But it's at a turmoil that we find the beauty in the butterfly that transforms itself from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
Yeah. Do you think that people today can make a meaningful change that's going to affect the short term conditions that we're facing?
People today are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're looking and searching. The world is searching for something new. They're grasping. I mean, people are struggling with their mortgages. People are losing their jobs, and they're turning around and going, well, where's the concrete at? Where can I stand on solid ground? And really, I think what that is that we're being forced as human beings to look inside and to understand that connection to source, that connection to self, that connection to each other has to become a more prominent place in our beingness in order for us to survive. Because we're not finding anything today that's solid. And so what do we have left? It's that, you know what? We were founded on the principles of spirituality. Maybe we should look into that again.
But also, though, don't you think that, I mean, for me, I had a little epiphany once, not that long ago, when I watched the very first episode of Saturday Night Live. And I encourage you to do it if you ever get a chance. And it's fascinating because the Weekend Update segment, they were talking about troubles in the Middle East. They were talking about the bankruptcy of the state of New York or the city of New York. They were talking about gas prices being extremely high. They were talking about all of the same challenges that we're facing today. Military conflict, everything. And so, in a sense, I think that in every generation or in every couple of decades, all of us are asked continually, I guess you could say, to make this realization. Don't you think? I mean,
absolutely.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's
a shift. It's a shift that I mean. Do you know why we're still in the same place? Or it seems like wait a minute, we could play that tape again, and it's the same thing going on. It's because we actually bring into our awareness quantum physics. If you study quantum physics, quantum psychology, we bring into our existence that which we focus on. Well, we're constantly focused on conflict. We're constantly focusing on lack of whatever it is out there that we think there is not enough. And the more we focus on that as a people, and this is scientific. You may think I'm going, woo, you're getting out there. It's real. The more we focus on, let me give you an example. And I love this example because everybody gets it. Several years ago, you'll remember, we had a big problem with child abduction. I mean, it was bad. It seemed like every single 10 minutes the news was going, we got another one. It was like popcorn. So what did they do? They created the Amber Alert system. And all over the country, because I travel all over the country, there's these big billboards that will tell you, child abduction, car, whatever. So they did this. Now, when the media and the people shifted their consciousness, their awareness off of child abduction, what happened? It went away. And at best, those things serve as telling you how far you're from the airport. That's it. And that's a clear example of how we were so fixated on child abduction that we created more of that. It's almost like we brought it into our awareness, and they were everywhere. And as soon as we were fixated on something else, we went to something else. Right now, the weather's a big deal, right? Oh, look what's happening here. Typhoon in Japan. And we focus on these things, and we bring more into our awareness. So if that's true, and we have that kind of ability, why don't we shift our awareness to peace? Why don't we shift our awareness to abundancy? Why don't we shift our awareness to oneness with each other? We can. But that's a tougher pill to swallow, because a lot of people don't want us to go there. Because if we go there, where would they go? Where would government go if we were all getting along? So, I'm not going to get into some theories, but to me it's really about, in my world, I know that whatever I focus on, I bring into my attention. And that's what I was trying to prove with this whole point with the Amber Alert. We spent all that money in what? Every once in a while. And it does serve a purpose, don't get me wrong. But it was brought upon the focus of the people.
Now, what about the role of gratitude in all of this? Because I have come to think that while so many people are focusing on what they want to change, a lot of times when they're doing that, they forget to focus on the abundance that's already there.
Yes.
To count. I love to say this. If you wake up in the morning and start counting the number of things that you have to be grateful for, you won't finish by the time it's time for you to go to bed at night.
No.
And so if you place your consciousness there's nothing to ask for.
Right. We have everything we need. I know that some of you may argue with that comment, but let me give you an example. I teach people, how many times have you walked by a penny and just thought it's just a penny? Just a penny. I'll leave it there. I've seen homeless people walk by a penny because it's just a penny. Now, where's the gratitude in picking up the penny and saying, thank you for this? I will give you more when you can accept small stuff. I will bring to you abundance when you can be okay with the little things I give you. So we forget that our internal organs are operating consistently. Cells are flowing through our body and it's working in perfect order. And we forget. And there's no gratitude there until we're sick. So when you're absolutely right. If we spent more time being grateful for what we do have, we create a space. It's almost like, God let me win the lottery. Okay? Go buy a ticket. Most of us don't even go buy the ticket. I want to win the lottery. Have you bought a ticket? Nah, what for? It's the same thing. We got to be grateful for what we have in order to receive more. And you're so right. We could spend the whole day. The little things, the air, the sound, the cat, I'm breathing, the car, the fact that I still have a home. I mean, all these things are things to be grateful for. And this is the things that we're going to bring to light at this event on October 8th. Really just talk about how do we go from seemingly feeling so lost right now into a space of power and abundance and feeling good about what we have. And you're so right. You start with a little bit. Pick up that penny. Pick up that penny. I teach my son, pick up that penny and be thankful that it came into your awareness, and watch what happens later. You never know. That might be $100 later.
Excellent. And so how do people find out about the event, get tickets, things like that?
Okay, well, here's what you do. You go to www.dialogsoftheheart.com. And you'll find the tickets there. It's on October 8th from 1 to 4 at the beautiful Hotel Maya in downtown Long Beach. It's a beautiful hotel. I did the last one in the mountains of Colorado, and now I'm at the beach in Long Beach. We want you all to come out. I mean, this is for you. We're doing this for you. I mean, it's not we're going to ask you questions. We're going to ask you to ask us. What do you want to know? Because I can sit there and lecture all day long. I don't like that. I want to know what are your questions? What is it you would like to hear us answer? Because we're the teachers, and we should be able to answer those questions for you. Now, we may not have time for all of them, but we'll clearly begin to have the dialogue that's important for our communities. Even at Long Beach, you got to start in Long Beach and in LA and around the world. We got to start somewhere with a clear understanding of compassion, understanding, and forgiveness for each other. And when we get there, and I got to share this quick story because this happened just the other day, and it just broke my heart. And this is where I think we need to really stop and take a breath. I was recently taking my son to school, my 10-year-old son to school, and on the Coyotes Diagonal, which is a crazy place. I mean, all these different streets are coming in, and it was busy, and it was during school time and work time. And I just look out of the corner of my eye, and there's this little boy wanting to cross one of those streets. The light was green for him. But as he started to get into the intersection, a white Porsche came and hit him. Took his bike, flipped him out, flipped him down. The Porsche didn't stop. It went by, it looked behind. I could see I was stuck in the middle. I couldn't go anywhere. There was no way for me to help because the traffic was going to move me. Here's the part that we need to hear. This little African-American boy, 10 years old at best, scared. He's trying to figure out what to do. He realizes he can't stay in the street. He's tangled in his bike. He's trying to get out of his bike. He can't get out of his bike. He finally, in some crazy way, gets out. And he drags him and his bike to the curb, off the street. Nobody got out to help him. Nobody got out to help him. Broke my heart. I said, here's a city bus. Here's several people here. All these people. Nobody helped him. He got to the edge of the curb, scared by himself. Where's the compassion in us? Is it whatever it was that you were busy that day? Were you that busy that you couldn't stop to help a 10-year-old boy? I mean, can you imagine how scared he was? I could see the pupils of his eyes were this big. And my son says, Daddy, I feel bad. I said, I do too, son. And I was right in the middle of traffic, and there was no way for me to stop. So here's what I'm saying, folks. We've gotten to a place where we've got to stop and pay attention. We got to stop and realize that our lives are not that busy, and they're not that important. And we got to start connecting to ourselves again. And we got to start connecting to our own spirituality. And it doesn't mean church. I'm not saying any of that. I'm talking about the humanness in us that would stop and help. There should have been 100 people get out. Not one. Finally, somebody, I don't know if it was a bus driver or who it was that got out. But the kid was already on the side of the road. Nobody helped him when he was in the middle of the street. That's the part that I think we need to be aware of. So on October 8th at the Maya Hotel, we're going to talk about these things. We want you to come out of there feeling good. We want you to come out of there with some tools that you can use in your life. And we want you to realize that we all are one. And when we think that way, we have a better Long Beach, we have a better California, and we have a better globe. So I hope to see you there.